Rich Dad, Poor Dad, the best-selling book that has changed the way we think about money. But what if we told you that the advice it gives is less reliable than it seems? Hey everyone, are you feeling stuck in your finances? Do you feel like you're just running in circles, never getting ahead? Well, it's time to uncover the truth about the financial advice that's been holding you back. In this video, we'll reveal the lies that Rich Dad, Poor Dad has been telling you and give you the real strategies you need to successfully build a solid financial future. If you want to become financially independent, then click subscribe and bell icon, and let's do this together. Robert Kiyosaki's book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, has been an inspirational and influential book for many people for over 2 decades. It is a personal finance book that provides the basic principles of financial literacy and how to build wealth. Kiyosaki's book was first published in 1997 and has since become one of the best-selling personal finance books of all time. Kiyosaki's book is based on his own personal experiences, as well as his own advice on how to become financially independent. He talks about his 2 fathers, his poor dad and his rich dad, and how they each taught him different lessons that helped shape his view on money and life. Kiyosaki's book has been translated into numerous languages and is read by millions of people all around the world. The book is divided into 9 chapters, each focusing on a different aspect of financial literacy. In the first chapter, Kiyosaki explains the importance of understanding the differences between assets and liabilities, as well as how to build wealth. The second chapter talks about why money is important and why you should be saving and investing. The third chapter discusses the importance of having multiple streams of income, while the fourth chapter focuses on understanding taxes and how to minimize them legally. The fifth chapter explains the importance of taking calculated risks, and the sixth chapter talks about the importance of having financial goals and plans. The 7th chapter focuses on entrepreneurship, and the 8th chapter discusses the importance of having mentors and mentorships. The 9th and final chapter is devoted to teaching readers how to think like the rich. Throughout the book, Kiyosaki emphasizes the importance of financial literacy and how it can be used to achieve financial success. He encourages readers to take control of their finances and make smart investments, while also teaching them how to become financially independent. Rich Dad, Poor Dad is an inspiring book that provides valuable lessons on financial literacy and how to build wealth. Robert Kiyosaki's book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, has been incredibly influential in the world of personal finance, but not all of his advice is necessarily reliable. Here are some reasons why Robert Kiyosaki was wrong in his book and how his advice can be misleading and potentially damaging to those who take it to heart. One of the main issues with Robert Kiyosaki's advice is that he advocates taking on a lot of debt to finance investments. This advice is dangerous for those who do not have a good understanding of the risks associated with taking on such large amounts of debt. While it is true that leveraging debt can help you make more money in the short term, it is also true that it can lead to a lot of financial hardship in the long term if things don't go as planned. Kiyosaki also advocates for investing in real estate as a way to become wealthy. While real estate can be a great way to make money, it is also a very risky investment that requires a lot of knowledge and experience in order to be successful. Furthermore, the real estate market can be incredibly volatile, making it difficult to predict the best times to buy and sell. In addition, Kiyosaki paints a rosy picture of entrepreneurship that ignores the fact that most businesses fail. While it is true that some entrepreneurs are successful, it is also true that the majority of businesses fail. Starting a business is an incredibly risky endeavor and should not be taken lightly. Furthermore, Kiyosaki does not provide enough information about how to create a successful business, leaving those who take his advice ill-prepared for the realities of entrepreneurship. Finally, Kiyosaki does not address the fact that financial success does not always equate to happiness. While having money can certainly help make life easier, it does not necessarily lead to long-term happiness or satisfaction. It is important to recognize that there is more to life than money, and that financial success should not be the only goal one strives for. In conclusion, while Robert Kiyosaki Kiyosaki's book Rich Dad, Poor Dad is a great read and provides some valuable insights, it is important to recognize the flaws in his advice. Taking on too much debt, investing in volatile markets, and starting a business without proper knowledge can all be incredibly risky endeavors. It is therefore important to understand the risks associated with taking on such ventures and to recognize that financial success does not necessarily equate to happiness. While Kiyosaki does have some good advice in his book, there are many other ways to generate wealth that may be overlooked. In order to better understand where you currently stand and where you should strive toward, we have created 4 types of people who manage money. Anna, the spender. Anna was a compulsive spender. She was never able to save money, no matter how hard she tried. She found it difficult to resist the urge to buy things she wanted, and she ended up spending most of her money on items she didn't need. Anna worked a full-time job and was able to support herself, but she never had any money left over at the end of the month. She often found herself in debt and struggling to make ends meet. She was always in search of ways to make a little extra cash, but nothing ever seemed to work for her. Whenever Anna got paid, she would immediately go out and spend most of her money. She would go out and buy clothes, accessories, and other items that caught her eye. She would often buy items that were on sale, but they were still more expensive than they were worth. She had difficulty resisting the urge to buy things that she didn't need, and she would end up spending more than she had intended. Anna was unable to save money and was always living paycheck to paycheck. This meant that if an emergency came up, she was not prepared and would have to use her credit cards to cover the expenses. This only made her debt worse, and she was often unable to pay her bills on time. Adam, the new investor. Adam was a savvy investor, but he lacked the education and experience to make a good return on his investments. He had a habit of investing his money in stocks and other assets, but he never took the time to research or educate himself on the markets. He would often make investments based on gut instinct or word of mouth from people he knew without doing any research. Adam always had the idea that he could make a lot of money from investing, but he was never able to make significant gains on his investments. He would often invest in stocks that he thought would do well, but he was never able to make a decent return on them. He was always playing catch-up, trying to make up for his losses by investing in other stocks. Adam was never able to make a significant amount of money from his investments, and he was never able to save money. He would often find himself in debt, trying to make up for his losses by investing more money. He was always chasing the dream of making a big return on his investments, but he was never able to make it happen. Nina, the strategic investor. Nina was an educated investor. She took the time to research and understand the stock market, and she was always looking for ways to make a good return on her investments. She knew that the stock market could be volatile, so she diversified her investments across different asset classes in order to reduce risk. In addition to investing in stocks and other assets, Nina also paid attention to tax planning. She looked for ways to minimize her taxes by taking advantage of deductions, credits, and other strategies. By doing so, she was able to keep more of her money instead of sending it off to the government every year. Nina had a system in place for managing her finances. She set up automatic transfers from her checking account into savings accounts each month so that she would have money saved up for emergencies or larger purchases. She also had an investment plan that allowed her to invest regularly without having to think about it too much. This allowed her to take advantage of dollar cost averaging and maintain a disciplined approach when it came time for buying and selling stocks or other assets. Finally, Nina found ways to use debt strategically when needed in order to fund larger purchases or investments, such as real estate properties or businesses. By carefully researching options such as lines of credit or low-interest loans, she was able to take on debt only when necessary, while still keeping within budget limits. Nina was an educated investor who was strategic with how she managed her money. She invested regularly into income-producing assets while minimizing taxes whenever possible through smart tax planning strategies, all while maintaining a comfortable lifestyle free from excessive debt burdens. Simon, the master investor. Simon was a master investor. He had years of experience and financial education, and he was well respected among his peers in the investment world. His reputation for making sound investments and providing reliable returns gave him access to opportunities that other investors couldn't get. Simon had amassed a great deal of wealth over the years, and he leveraged it in order to make even more money. He often invested large sums of money into companies or projects that he believed held significant potential for growth. His vast network of contacts gave him an edge when it came to getting first-hand information about stocks and other investments. Moreover, Simon was trusted by others as they viewed him as an expert in the field. People would often give him their own money to invest on their behalf because they knew he could handle it responsibly and make a good return on their investment. This trust allowed him to take advantage of large-scale deals that the average investor wouldn't have access to. Now that you know all of the types of people who manage their money, which one should you be? We think that the answer is quite obvious: the master investor, or a strategic investor. Aspiring to be a good investor is the best way to become financially free. A good investor understands the stock market and other investments better than the average person, so they make more informed decisions that offer better returns. They also have access to more opportunities because of their understanding of the investment world. Generating wealth can be a daunting task, but there are many ways to do so that are not mentioned in Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It is best to think about the types of people who manage money and try to become the ones that make their money work for them, not the other way around. Each type of person has different strategies for managing their finances, and some do it better than others. It is important to strive toward becoming a good investor, as this is the type of person who can make the most money from their investments. They are also financially free and able to enjoy a comfortable lifestyle. What are your thoughts? Has Rich Dad, Poor Dad helped you in your personal finance journey? Tell me in the comments section below. Also, if you're new to this channel, I strongly encourage you to subscribe and click the like button so that you can keep up with all of my most recent videos. See you in the next one.